This is Steve Zeltzer with Pacifica, and today we're with Kim Cordova. She's president of UFCW Local 7, and they're having a memorial today in Greeley, Colorado, to memorialize the workers who've died as a result of COVID. So welcome to the show. Can you talk about what has been happening to your members in these companies and why you're having the memorial today?
Yes, thank you for having me on. So we represent 3,000 workers at the JBS Greeley beef plant, and that plant was really hit hard with COVID-19, and it's really hit a lot of our members who are essential frontline workers. At our JBS plant, we lost 6 workers to COVID, 1 woman and 6 men. And this is a really big loss for not only our union, our community, and for their families. What we've seen around the country is that there's a systemic problem in these packing houses. It's the nature in which they work. They're elbow to elbow. When COVID first hit our community in Colorado, the reaction to COVID by these employers were late. It was late, and it was inadequate. And as a result, workers in that plant, not only became sick with COVID, we had many workers that were on ventilators, and we lost 6 workers to COVID at that one facility.
And the systemic problem of health and safety in these meat plants, why hasn't the government ordered proper health and safety measures, and what has been the role of OSHA in Colorado with your members who are in danger of COVID?
What we've seen with the president's executive order is that they're putting profit over people. And while we have an order to keep plants running, whether there's workers that are sick in the plants or not, the government did not put in place any enforceable or verifiable safety laws, and no federal agencies or state agencies to enforce it, any type of safety laws or guidance. OSHA in the CDC, they're just guidance, recommendations, but they're not enforceable. We reached out to OSHA before things got out of hand in our facility, and they've absolutely been absent. I mean, they've been defunded and deregulated, and as a result of that, you've seen these outbreaks in these type of industries that have been deadly for workers.
And the Defense Production Act that he instituted, why would he not require that these companies, these meat companies, have proper health and safety to protect the workers in the plants?
I believe it's because of the makeup of the workers in the plant. Many of these workers are immigrants or refugees. We have an older workforce. We have many women. And I believe this is part of the systemic racism that you see. It doesn't just, in our communities, but it exists within our economy. And these workers have been treated as disposable, as fungible widgets, as sacrificial employees, instead of as, members of our community. I mean, these are frontline workers that are in highly skilled jobs. They're dangerous as they are, some of the most dangerous jobs in this country. But they're the backbone of our country and our economy. And, there have been no enforceable laws or regulations for years. And defunding OSHA, this is why workers are dying. Or you're seeing these packing houses with hundreds or thousands of workers that were impacted by COVID.
And we're talking with Kim Cordova. She's president of UFCW 7 and is going to a memorial today for workers who passed away as a result of COVID. Now, also the question, Kim, is their health care. Have these workers been able to get covered by health care when they lose their jobs? And what happens to them when they try to go to a hospital and get taken care of?
So they do have, we do negotiate health care. They are, we believe these should be treated as workers' comp cases. Because it's reasonable to believe that they've been exposed to COVID because of the outbreak at that facility. But they do have health care. But part of the systemic problem you see in these packing facilities is that most of these type of jobs do not have paid sick leave. And it creates a work-while-sick culture. And that's something that we have to fix within the system.
And these companies that you are taking on as far as the protection of the workers, do you have the feeling that they're above the law, they can do whatever they want, and they're not going to be held accountable?
Well, with President Trump's executive order and with, an immunity shield, there's no incentive for these companies to protect the workers. And, we all need to be angry over this. I'm angry that workers are dying and people are just sitting back thinking about their next steak. And that's not right. These workers are important. They had a heartbeat, they had a soul, they had a family and communities that cared about them. And they're important to continue the food supply chain going. You have to protect the worker if you want to continue to have them feed our communities.
And also, I understand that these companies have sued your union to try to shut down the media that you're doing, getting the information out. What is the purpose of that, and have they been successful?
So they sent me, while the plant was closed, they sent me a letter threatening to sue us. They have not filed a lawsuit against us. They threatened to sue us, said they were going to try and get an injunction on us to stifle our voice. But that hasn't happened yet. And, I understand our constitutional rights, and I have an obligation to stand up as their representative and to fight for these workers' rights. So even though they tried to be a bully, they didn't move me or compel us. They're not going to just check our voice at the grievance procedure. We have a right to stand up and advocate for these workers, and an obligation.
And you're going to be speaking today at the memorial. What are you going to be saying to the workers, their families, and the community? And also, what are you saying to the American people about what they should do to protect the workers at Greeley and the many, many workers who are afraid to go back to work, yet are being kind of coerced to go back to work?
We put 2 bulletin boards up, and we did that in the community. We put 2 big billboards up with the faces and the names of the workers that died, because we want them to be remembered. The community needs to remember that workers died. That were an important part. They integrated into the community. They were long-term employees, and we want to make sure that their memory is stays alive. And also that we all as a community need to stand up and call on employers and our government officials to put worker safety as a priority, and that we have to stand up against the systemic racism within our economy.
Okay, well, I want to thank you very much, Kim, for talking with us. We've been talking with Kim Cordova, who is on her way to a memorial for the 6 workers who died at meatpacking plants in Colorado, at a memorial to let people know about who they were, their lives, and the need to defend them and their families and other workers who face similar threats. So thanks for joining us on Pacifica, Kim.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, take care.